Hello guys, Risky Trader here, back again for another video. It's been a long time, but I decided to make this one because I thought it was relevant for what's going on nowadays for all my day traders out there. I called Charles Schwab. I had a couple questions for them. I was on the phone with a representative for 49 minutes, and very quickly, what I'm going to say is I learned absolutely nothing. He was a cool dude, the person I spoke with, but he didn't know what he was talking about. And if he did know what he was talking about, he very much couldn't say any particular details because he didn't. And I'm assuming that was probably done on purpose. But I was trying to figure out, because when you're a day trader and you trade small cap stocks every day, you're looking at the gainers list, you're looking at the news. All of these have unusual volume. That's what they're gapping. They're gapping up of unusual volume off of news. They're trading around the same price range. They have similar news. One of them gets restricted, you have to call in to get in, and on the other one, you don't. And it always seems somehow, and this could just be coincidental, but it happens so many times that it just is frustrating for a lot of us trading stocks. But if you are not allowed to get in on winners and only on losers, I mean, obviously, Charles Schwab doesn't have a crystal ball. They don't know what's going to go up and what's not going to go up. But what's happening is we're not allowed to get in on big time winners, and we're only allowed to get in on stocks that eventually just go down. So, take for example, today, I try to get in on a ticker and it goes up 160% from the price I was trying to get in, but I couldn't get in because I supposedly had a call. Now, I know a lot of times stocks are not going to go up that much. Sometimes you're just going to try to get in your quick 5, 10, 15, 20%, or whatever it is that you may be going for. And obviously, by calling, you're pretty much, by the time you get off the call, it's already time to sell. If it wants to get you in, it's already time to sell, or you might sell for a loss. But you only sold for a loss because Schwab had a guardrails for you to get in. When you're trading as a small cap trader, you show up every day, you trade every single one of your strategies because at any given moment, one of those could be the big one that pushes you over, and it's the ability that you have to be able to continue trading every day. If you're trading and you're losing, and then one time you want to trade this one stock, and you're not able to, so you trade some other one that you really didn't even want or whatever, or you just don't even trade that day, period. You get put in a situation where now you made no money that day. You didn't trade anything, but that one stock you wanted to trade actually went up, and you would have been profitable. And now that's one day that you didn't make money that really could have made a big difference in your trading. Now add many of those days up in a month and a year. Those are days that could have very much made a huge difference in your trading. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any situations where you're, you get into one of these stocks, they didn't allow you, and then it turned out to be a not that good of a stock. You would have actually taken a loss. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. That exists too. But my big point, what I want to make is nobody should ever control what you do with your money. If you want to lose all your money, you want to lose all your money. And I feel like I'm not saying for them to take away these security or guardrails. I know they could care less about people. They're not gonna fool me. They're not gonna fool none of us. I know they're just doing it for insurance purposes, for legality. But it's very easy as having like an opt out option where you sign with your signature and everything, acknowledging that you're a day trader and you want to have the ability to be able to get in whenever you want, and therefore you're going to opt out of these security measures. And in no way, in shape, or form is Schwab responsible for any losses. And maybe they even send you like an email where you have to double confirm. Something like that would be much better than them just automatically just trying to tell you no. This is causing a lot of people to move to Webull and many other platforms. And like I told the dude, look, if Schwab is doing this on purpose, then it's fine. They're doing it on purpose. They don't want traders. They don't want day traders anymore on Schwab. They rather have people that are swing traders, that are investors. They don't want to have any hyper scalpers. They don't want to have any day traders. Okay, fine. Or maybe they don't want to have any day traders that trade the small cap stocks. They want mid or large cap stock day traders. Fine. Just say it then. Say it. I'm getting sick and tired of people always wanting something, but they don't want to actually say it out loud because they know it will hurt their business. But they're still doing this, pulling this nonsense anyway. So they're basically wanting the result without actually saying it. I also asked him if he knew anything about the PDT. He says that they don't have any information any more than we do. He talked about FINRA and everything that we already know about it. So there was no new news there. When I asked him to tell me the difference of why some of them will be restricted, he really couldn't. He said he said like very vague things, and he was saying like, well, sometimes, it could be a stock that has a high probability of halting, or is trading on with unusual volume, or doesn't have any news. I told him, look, I understand that if a stock has no volume, it has no news, or even if it's moving, halting with no news and no volume, I understand why you would restrict those. But many times, every single one of these have unusual volume. Every single one of these are gapping up. Every single one of these are trading in the same price range. They have similar news. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. There has to be more to it. And he would never say, he would just not say it. If he knew it, he would not say it. And that's the problem. I told him, look, a lot of us that will leave uh, Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim platform, we're not leaving because of what you guys are doing per se. We're leaving because we just don't understand. It's not about you restricting certain tickers. It's about us not understanding why you do it. It's the reason why people leave. I don't think they care. I really don't think that Schwab cares. Um, they definitely don't. If this guy that I spoke to today knew the reasons, they definitely don't care to tell these people to let us know. So that already says a lot about Charles Schwab. And I just don't think that they care too much about day traders. I have to be honest. I don't think that you could day trade using Charles Schwab. I just don't think so. I wouldn't recommend. I can't recommend it. I've always recommended it for years and years and years. I recommended Thinkorswim and Charles Schwab for day trading, even though many people didn't. They wanted to recommend like Lightspeed or any other ones, but I thought that you could start off there and do something well. But now with these restrictions of you having to wait 4 days to be able to use your money when you deposit, and certain tickers having restrictions, I think I now have to say that I don't think and I don't recommend Charles Schwab for day trading. They definitely don't care about day traders. They're definitely not focusing on keeping day traders. And they just don't want anything to do with day traders. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Plain and simple. My recommendation if you love Thinkorswim, this is my suggestion. I suggest you keep using Thinkorswim, but you open up another account, maybe in Weibo, maybe any other one, and have it in the background. And if ever you find yourself not being able to get in on a trade on Thinkorswim, you could easily, much faster than calling it in, just pull up your Weibo, get in on Weibo, or any other place. And then for all the obviously for all the other tickers that are not restricted and you're able to get in, well, you could just trade on Thinkorswim. I think that's probably the only way that you can, make something happen. The problem is that if you trade a certain percentage of your account, and most of the time you're trading on Thinkorswim, then you don't really have that much money on the other platform. So you're able to just still get in on it, but you're not able to get fully what you would have gotten in if you were able just to trade on your regular platform. If that regular platform is Thinkorswim, then you were going to be able to do that. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I just wanted to come in here and talk to you guys real quick about, basically nothing. A nothing burger. 49 minutes wasted. He said that for sure there was parameters. So unless they look into these companies, and maybe they're tied to illegal activity of some sort, they have to be looking at like the balance sheets or something. They have to be looking at something very deeply that day traders could care less about. Maybe only investors, maybe only like swing traders care, and that's the reason why they're are not allowing us day traders to get in on it without calling them or simply just being restricted, period. Well, that's not good for day traders. If your whole focus is on looking at what's safe for swing traders or investors, long-term investors, and you're willing to just go ahead and restrict a ticker for them, not caring about us, then that pretty much sums it up pretty well. I mean, Charles Schwab doesn't care about day traders.